All right, I think we can get started. Of course, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone who's joining us today from all around the world. My name is Mai, and I'm an advisor here at Nexford University. I have been with Nexford for about 2 years now, and it's been quite an exciting journey. I have spoken with so many learners and people from around the world. And when I say around the world, I mean from over 75 countries around the world, from where we have learners so far. And I just want to say that one of the most common questions we have is, how will I learn online? As basic as that. They are wondering, what does it mean to learn online? Some of them have never studied online before. Some of them have, but they are, of course, curious to see how different the Nexford learning experience is like. And with that, I'm also excited to introduce the rest of the people that we have on the call with us today, and that is Dr. Bill, who is Dr. Bill Reed, who is a faculty member at Nexford. We also have two learners, and that is Jason Weimer, who's currently studying with us from Thailand. And we also have Zakia Alal, who's studying with us from the UK. With that, let's please first introduce Dr. Bill. If you can please just introduce yourself.
Yes, hello everyone. Thanks for being here. I live about 100 kilometers south of New York City in the United States, state of New Jersey. I've been with Nexford just about a year. I've been teaching online for 22 years now. So I'm a bit familiar with many of the ways of learning, the tips, what works, what doesn't work, and I'll be happy to share that with you. In a little bit, I'll be going through a course with you quickly to show you how easy it is to navigate and how we accomplish the objectives of learning online here at Nexford. You will hopefully learn a little bit about it, but you'll learn more once you're registered and we go through it. But for now, I look forward to speaking with you today, and thank you for being here.
All right, thanks, Dr. Bill. Jason, can you please introduce yourself and just tell us what program you're studying at Nexford?
Yeah, I am an American and I'm living in Bangkok, Thailand. I moved here about 11 years ago, started a company focused in coffee. And I'm currently graduating this month with an MBA in advanced AI. So I'm super excited about that. And I'm happy to be here with you.
That's amazing. Thanks, Jason. Just to give everyone a heads up also, you can read more of Jason's story and his success story really on our blog also. We have a blog in our NXU Insights if you're interested to learn more. And Zakia, can you please introduce yourself and also what program you're studying?
Hi, everyone. My name is Zakia Alal. I'm currently doing an AAS degree in business. I'm a mom of one daughter and expecting a baby soon.
Amazing. Congratulations, Zakia.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, and with that, I believe let's get started. Just before I jump in here, for those who kind of joined a bit late, I just want to remind you all that if you have any questions, please share them in the Q&A section and we'll get to them at the end of the webinar. All right, so what you see in front of you here is a page that you are going to get much more familiar with as you enroll at Nexford. This will be your new best friend. You'll see this every day, every week as you're studying. We call it the Nexford Learning Environment, for short, Nexly. So if you find me saying that term, throughout the webinar, please know that that's what it refers to. All right, and in the middle here, you'll be seeing, these are all the courses that you are currently, for example, enrolled in at Nexford. Just to give you a heads up, you'll be seeing a title up here on the top right that says Demo Learner. That is, of course, because I am not currently an Nexford learner. However, once you are a learner at Nexford, you will see your name up here, and this will be where you can sign on to study and to access everything related to your program. So in the middle here, you'll see that these are the courses that you are enrolled in, as I said. When I say courses, does this mean that you can enroll in more than one course at the same time? The answer would be yes. This is how a lot of our learners make their, are able to finish their program at a much faster pace. And that is if you are able to enroll in more than one course at the same time. That way you'll be able to complete your program at a faster pace. And this is what we consider our flexible paced learning. So of course, here we're going to be talking today about leadership and organizational development, which is the BUS 6070 course. Dr. Bill will be talking about it a little more with us later. And also this is the NXU Orientation. Just to make it clear, NXU Orientation is not a Nexford course technically. And this is because every Nexford course, of course, is related to the program that you're enrolled in, but also each course includes 6 modules, which you will need to complete, as well as a final project. Whereas the NXU Orientation only has about, I think, 3 modules. And you receive access to this as soon as you get enrolled at Nexford. So 5 days before your program start date, you will be able to access the NXU Orientation. Consider this your welcome pack. You will be sent, of course, an email from our success team, and they will, of course, get you introduced to your personal or dedicated success advisor. And who this is, you can consider a mentor or a coach who is there with you to guide you throughout your program. At first, you'll have, in the beginning, depending on the course that you're enrolled in, you'll have a dedicated success advisor throughout the program, just for maybe a few weeks or a few months. And then after that, of course, you can be able to talk with the whole success team and receive support the whole time. Also, you'll find here the writing lab. Writing lab is also not a course. If anything, it is just a resource that is always available for you. We'll be talking about that a little more later on. To get you more familiar with with Nextly, on the side here on the left side, you'll be finding the navigation pane. This includes just a couple of tabs, such as the home page. Whenever you want to go back to the main page, you can find any friends that you've added on your profile, your professors, any of which we call your circle, a couple of resources, and most importantly, these extra benefits and features and resources that you can use as you study at Nexford. Also, we'll get into that a little more later on. Okay, on the right side here, you'll find a calendar. So this calendar is as interactive as any calendar you might have used throughout your life. You can add in any important events once you're enrolled in certain programs or courses, sorry. You can also get reminders for any assignments or any task that you need to complete. And, this is a great reminder for, of course, any deadlines that you might be having. The great thing is that you can incorporate this, on your phone or perhaps on your Outlook. There's a share button at the bottom here, and you can simply download that. So you can receive notifications also on your laptop, or on your mobile phone. All right, back to the main page here, you'll also find a little, of course, to-do list. And here online, what this is these are all the Nexford learners that are currently online from all around the world. And this includes learners, and it also includes success advisors or professors. So it's quite amazing that any time that you log on, you can, see some information about these learners from around the world. Some of them will write a bit about themselves, a little profile. You can also message them, chat with them, you can add them. And this is one of the many ways that you can make friends or connections from people from all around the world as you go through your program. At the bottom here, you'll find announcements. So what those are, these are basically announcements that our course or our faculty, professors post at any given time. What are they posting about, or what are they announcing about? You'll find that some of them hold these drop-in sessions, which are kind of these coaching sessions that more than one learner can join at the same time, at different dates. You'll find a lot from Caroline Fernandez, who is our writing lab coach. I'll talk about her a little more later on as well. You might find some from our tech team and other professors as well. And if there are any announcements you would like to keep in mind or receive notifications for, what's great is that we also have a mobile application, which you can download on your phone just by downloading the Neo LMS application. And then searching for Nexford, and of course signing on with your Nexford University credentials. And just with that, you'll receive all kinds of notifications for assignment deadlines, as well as if you receive any announcements. If you don't wish to download the Nexford application, don't worry, you'll also receive email notifications for these announcements. All right, finally, just the part I want to talk about here in the Nextly is you'll find this great tool we call Ask NXU. You'll find it usually at the bottom right here. If you have any questions you don't feel you necessarily need to reach out to our team for, you feel like it's quite basic, I assure you, you'll probably find it here. For example, you just want to know, when you get access to orientation, or what exactly is the orientation. You can simply type it in here. You'll find the common questions we get regarding that with a little more description. And if you have more questions, you can always, of course, email just our success team right away. So it's a pretty cool tool if you have any kinds of questions at any point. All right, and with that, I think we can get into our NXU orientation. Once you click on that, you will be taken to the NXU orientation module 1 over here. So you'll find a little welcome message, of course, giving you a little introduction of what it's going to be like to study at Nexford, all the tools that you're going to need to be able to do that. All right, and as you can see here, you'll be finding also just an explanation of who our CEO is, a little more about how Nexford started, and you'll even find a welcome video from Nexford CEO, Fadil Tarzi. I'd like to play this for you guys just for a few seconds.
It's been said that the future is a convenient place for dreams, so why not dream big? I've always known education changes lives, but I first realized its impact.
You guys could all hear that. So as you can see, this is an example of how, I guess, transparent and open the team at Nexford are. As you can see, there's a personal, welcome message from our CEO directly. And aside from that, if you have any feedback, if you have any questions, you can also email our CEO directly and you'll get a response from him. So this just comes to show the 24/7 support you have at Nexford and that we're always here for you. And ultimately your success is our success. So we make sure to feel that to make you feel that you always are backed up by our team. You'll find here some pointers and some tips on how to get started with your course. They'll give you an overview of all the programs we currently provide at Nexford. And if you're an MBA learner, you can learn a bit more about the specializations that we have for our MBA. We also have specializations in our bachelor's degree, which is our BBA program. You can learn about enrollment and when to send in your assignments and everything like that, as well as our syllabus, and which you can automatically download from here also. All right, and once you get through the orientation, you'll find that one of the first things we ask you to do is to actually post in our discussion forum here. We really recommend our learners to do this in the beginning because it's a great way to kind of introduce yourself. You'll find this is a bit outdated here, but we have a learner here that, you can write a little or you can write a lot. You'll find that this learner here wrote a lot about himself, to also, kind of connect with more people around the world. You'll find that he's even left his LinkedIn profile if you want to get connected, and a photo as well. If you don't necessarily feel like, writing a lot about yourself, no worries. You can also just simply reach out. You'll find a lot of learners here also that have commented, and interacted with each other. All right, and if at any point you have started a new course and before the program or the course has started itself, you are wondering who your course professor is, don't worry about that. Anytime you're enrolled, you can simply go to the course and you'll find a tab at the top here, this welcome tab, which will give you an overview of the course as well as the syllabus. And of course, if you have any questions, you'll have an email specifically to where to ask, as well as, of course, a calendar and all of these other tips and tricks and resources. Most importantly, so when you scroll at the bottom here, you'll find who your professor is. For this course specifically, this would be Professor Dr. Bill, who's with us today. And I would love for you, Dr. Bill, to tell us all a bit about this course.
I would be glad to. Thank you, Meg. Once you complete all your applications and all the paperwork and make financial arrangements, then you get to the course, which is where I step in. And this course is particularly, hold on, I'm trying to get to it, is course 67, and it focuses on leadership and organizational development. A basic course, most of you will take this course. It certainly is not difficult, but it is broad in scope and depth. Give you an example. You'll see across the top here, as May was talking about on the left side, you always start with Start button. That'll give you an overview of the entire course and its contents, which I highly recommend you spend a few minutes the first time you log in, going over the entire course, looking at the assignments. You're going to find some assignments that are easier for you. You're going to find other assignments that are going to require more time for you. One, in my opinion, one of your key to successes is time management and how you approach the course and how you manage your time and incorporate your time into your life and into your work. So to do that, we can just take a look quickly here at the assignment section. Now, this is the assignments for this course. It lists all of them. The name over here, the start month for this particular demonstration was March, and the due date for each course, and if it's submitted and so on. It looks like a lot, but I want to draw your attention to something very important. A number of these are optional. The first 4 are optional to your first written assignment here. And then you'll see required. When you go to the gradebook, you'll be able to see it more clearly. I recommend taking the optionals. They help support the learning and they help support the goal we're looking for in the course. You'll see that here we have many of them. Course introductions is where we say hello to each other, where we're from, what we do, why we're here maybe, and all that. Each of these units in the course are here for a reason. And that reason supports the overall objectives of the course. Also listed on the side, the resources you have available. The syllabus, we could take a look at the syllabus real quick if we wanted to. Let me show you that real quick just so you show you what it looks like. Right at the top of the syllabus, you'll see the learning objectives. These are the key components that we want to see you learn in this course. And it gives the grading, and I'm trying to find that for you right now. There they are. These are the learning objectives. And each course is anywhere between 5, 7, 8 learning objectives. These are the type of things that we're looking to share with you to enhance your skill and ability in talking about and understanding. Each of these are addressed in the assignments of the course. And these are the things you will be talking about in the course. Now, how did I get back here? I got off track here. Sorry about that. Man, I want to get back to the actual in the course again.
All right.
This happened last time I hit syllabus too.
Let me try to help you with that, Dr. Bill.
Yeah, if you would, please. Thank you. You'll see the assignments are very, here we go. Thank you. There we go.
Okay.
The assignments go back to this and are very clear and distinct. I want to point out another important thing. I think it's important anyway about the assignments. We'll look at the case here, and this calls for a case analysis to be done. When you pop it up, all the information for what you're expected to do appears. Tells you how to do it, the outline that is needed, the information that is needed. You see guidelines for creating a business brief. We'll tell you how to do that. This particular one is on Old McDonald's Farm. This is the case we will use for this one. Some of the assignments, and they call for case analysis, you can pick a case to use. And I think this part is where we personalize the learning in the program. You can pick a case that's directly related to your field of interest. For example, I remember Jason did some work on coffee in his area. I have another student in Indonesia whose mother had an excellent a recipe for cooking bread. He's going into the bread baking business. He did this. We have places where you develop business plans around that. He developed a business plan for bread sales and bread production and doing that. On the other side, those of you who are more corporately involved, we have many students in the banking industry. We have many students in oils and chemical industry, and we have many in biotech. So the scope is large, which is why we do the assignments the way we do, so that we can bring your experience to life and apply them to the principles and concepts and theories we're talking about in the course. So as you look at the assignments again, you'll see many of them lead up to ultimately the final assessment. And case for change is actually the second one. That's what I was just talking about. It's on the bottom here. But it goes through the whole thing to a final project. In this case, it's an organizational change plan. We'll teach you about that. We'll show you how to do all that and how to work through that. Throughout this, you can submit assignments extraordinarily easy when you're in these courses. It'll show you, as again, the instructions on what's expected and how to complete that assignment and the expectations that we have for it. And then about submitting the paper. Papers are done in Word document most of the time. Not often do we have problems with formatting. Everyone seems to use it, but occasionally there'll be a strange format show up and we have to work around that. Don't worry about it. We can handle it. We're used to it. We've seen all different kinds of formats come in and using it. One thing I want to remind everyone is if this is going to be your first online learning experience, this is, for some, the first time you may be using a computer for real work. Although after the pandemic we've all been through, probably you've had many, many real uses for it. But from a learning perspective, it gets very real and very kind of like almost a slightly variation of your own language. So we understand that. And like I said, I've been doing this for over 20 years. So I'm familiar with the online format quite a bit. And there's some tips and things we use, and we share that with you as you get started. The message here is that everyone has their first day in an online course. And I usually work with those students who are new to the program and maybe not as experienced as some others with online activity. We're okay with that. We'll get you through it. After a week or two, you're going to feel really at home in this whole process, using this system that we have and getting used to the routine. The one biggest tool you have as a new student is the ability to ask a question. And one of the biggest things we do here at Nexford is have ways to answer those questions for you quickly as possible. These questions go from, I can't find this assignment. I don't know where to look for this. I lost track of it. I can't log in. I can't log out. I don't know where my assignment went. All these sort of things come up. The thing is to remain calm. We have answers. The people involved in this, I know many of them personally for years in this institution, and we can pretty much answer most things that come up. If we don't know an answer, we probably know where to go to get it. So one of the biggest messages I can share with you is just to relax, start. Anxiety is normal when you're getting going, and that's okay. We're good with that too. The other thing I'd like to show you really quickly is how you track your progress. In the course room, we have an online gradebook, which was right here. There we go. And you can go to the grade part of it and find that right here. Anyway, we do show you the grades along the way. You have the opportunity to review feedback from your instructor. The feedback is sometimes brief if you're doing a good job. And if you're showing a few short things in your responses, we go into a little more detail about writing, about proper writing in what's called APA format. If you're not familiar with that, that is a standard of writing for academics at a graduate level. It's not just important that you know the material, but you have to know how to present it when you're going into the business world or making a presentation or just understanding it for your own business and communicating with vendors and suppliers or customers. So we show you that too. All of this happens along the way, and it doesn't happen all at once. I always use the example that I've seen students that get really frustrated. They get really tired. They feel like they want to take the computer and throw it out the window and get so tired. Normally, when you reach that point of frustration and that point of aggravation and you get ready to toss in the towel, you're usually at the point of learning something very important. So it's kind of important to take that next step to see what's there. And sometimes that next step or 2 steps or 3 steps will just turn the light on and off you go again until you run into another learning hurdle. They happen all the time. That's why this requires work. It's not just handed to you. My final point involved with this is your scheduling. I mentioned it earlier on. Your personal time management is probably one of the biggest keys to your success in obtaining a degree, particularly in an online environment. We don't have you sitting in a classroom in front of us, clocking you in and out. This is something that's on your schedule. You need to plan, and you need to have a written plan. Writing it down, in my opinion, when you write something, it connects your hand to your brain, you remember it better, you're committed to it. And of course, throughout this time, things happen. Business trips, business emergencies, family issues, children, parents, grandparents. Something happens, the car breaks down, you miss a call, you miss something, you're distracted for whatever. This happens. It's happened all the time. It's happened every time in the 22 years I've been doing this. Every month something happens. We're okay. We can do that. We can work around it. We can find a solution. 99.9% of all issues like this that come up, I've been able to resolve one way or the other. Might need an extra day, extra 2 days, might need a little break. If it's a major issue, if there's an emergency in a family or something like that, we work to that. We understand it. We've been doing it a long, long time, the people that are here. That is a quick overview of some of the things involved. I couldn't possibly show you all of them, but they are nothing more challenging than what I just showed you, other than your work to create a comprehensive response in your answers. So really, I mean, maybe as a kid, how did you handle your schedule? How are you working around your time frame now that you're going to be a mom again? You got all these things on your plate. How did you approach creating a life, school, work balance?
I'm actually setting, as you said before, one of the keys of my success is managing my time. So I'm actually setting weekly study slots, and I'm trying to stick to this plan as possible. I need to mark all the dates that, for example, when are my assignments due. It's important to accomplish my work at the time planned. And what else? I need to mark as well the date that I will not be able to fit in study due to any unexpected event, especially in this period as I'm pregnant. So in case of sickness or anything else. So what I do, expanding the slots from, for example, 3 hours per day to 5 hours to avoid to meet the deadlines, I mean. What I do else, I remove any distraction. I choose the time when my daughter is not home, is at school, or when she goes to bed. And of course, I have also time to spend it with my family and look after myself, trying to not put too much pressure on myself. And I feel that plan is very convenient for me.
Well, yeah, everything has to work for you, and everyone will have their own plans. And it's important to remember that if a deadline comes and you miss it, we don't unplug you, we don't turn you off, we don't disappear. We solve it the next day, and we'll figure it out for you, or anyone for that matter, to accommodate it, because we are in the extraordinarily trying times. Some parts of our world are getting better with this pandemic, others are still suffering its impact. So we understand the need for flexibility. But thank you, Zakir. So May, you want to bring us into the next section?
Definitely, yes. Thanks a lot, Dr. Bill, and thanks, Akia, as well. I just want to reiterate what Dr. Bill said, that life happens, and we understand that life happens. So, especially with the pandemic and these trying times around the world. So if, circumstances come up, you'll find that our team is always very supportive. All right. Dr. Bill spoke a bit about, assignments and assessments. So I'd love to talk about that a little. It's one of the questions we receive a lot as well, is how do I submit an assignment? How does it work? So you'll find that these optional self-assessments, for example, are embedded, of course, in some of the modules. All you need to do is, of course, aside from meeting the deadline, is to prepare your answer here. Of course, it varies with every single self-assessment, but usually I think often the file format requested is a PDF. So once you have that ready, you can just save and submit the PDF here, or you can just save it and choose to submit it at a later time if you don't feel quite ready, or you want to kind of take a refresher and submit it at another time if you have a chance to edit it. We also have the assignments here, which are, of course, graded assignments. This is all inside the BUS 6070 course. You'll find that this is a Tesla case for change. Dr. Bill spoke about another case for change earlier. I'd love if you gave just a very quick overview of this specific one here. Dr. Bill?
On the case for change?
Yes, please, if you could just give a quick overview.
Each of the assignments you submit has with it a grading rubric. This rubric is the guidelines that we use as faculty to review your paper. A rubric may contain 4 components, it may contain 6 or 7, it all depends. And within each component, called a criteria, there may be 4 or 5 levels. One, you didn't do it at all, or the top end, you did it extraordinarily well. This is important for this reason. You have the opportunity to look at that rubric before you start your assignment. So you can see what the faculty member is looking for before you start the assignment. So in effect, you have an outline for your paper, at least from a structure point of view. And then you can go ahead and look at that and be able to know what we're going to grade you on. And you can write your paper to that standard, which is okay because that's what we feel where the learning is going to take place. The worksheets themselves, which I'm not too sure why this is not opening, but either that, we provide you with a worksheet, which would have 2, 3, or 4 columns in it. On the left is the objective. It's on the right side. Here we go. Thank you. The right side, you would see how where you can complete your answer. And then you simply complete the worksheet, in this particular case, down to its completion. We do look for complete answers. We do look for comprehensive answers. Not saying you have to write a book, but saying you have to write enough to answer the question. One of the biggest things I see is people writing a lovely, beautiful answer to the wrong question. So constantly keep the question in mind that you're answering, or the component of the bigger question you're answering. And then you submit your paper, and then I go through the rubric. You get a rubric report as well as a narrative feedback from me on what the assignment was. I would say, well, you did this really well. You did this really well. You got to remember, here's what I'm talking about. Thank you, May. And this and that. So you would go through this worksheet and go down and fill in the right side. And for example, current state, where are you now? Why is what we're doing currently not working? What opportunities have been missed? And then on the right side over here, you fill it in. You go through this. Not all assignments have these worksheets. Some are strictly narrative, but some of them have this. So we're really telling you, here's what we want you to look at. These are the things we want you to talk about in this answer, and here's where you answer. Again, complete answers, comprehensive answers, doesn't have to be a book. And always remember that at the graduate level, referencing is required in the papers. Referencing, if you don't understand it, we'll go over it with you. It's called APA referencing. It's a writing standard put out by the American Psychological Association. We use it. Most business schools use that one. There's a few others, but we use this one. And it's not hard. In 10 minutes, you can find the basics of it, either using Caroline in the writing lab or in the writing help that May described earlier. It's just laid out there for you. There's a sample there, or you have to put in the words. So it's not hard to do. So these assessments get submitted to you. You get them back within a few days, maximum 5. My personal, as I shoot for 2 or 3 days, but sometimes that doesn't happen on busy submission days. But you get it back. I encourage you to read the feedback so that if you're making a couple errors, you don't commit them again on the next paper. I do look for progressive learning so that when you get to your final document of that course, it's a pretty good paper. And most importantly, it's a paper that demonstrates your understanding of the topic. And you can support it through referencing, and you can write about it. I look for growth in your writing and growth in your concept and how you write it. Not hard to do. Everyone's different in this, by the way. So it just has to show growth and show a consistent pattern of improvement, and that you're picking things up, including the format and the structure. So May, I think that, is there any other points on that?
No, that's all good. Thanks, Dr. Bill. With that, I'd love to ask Jason how your experience has been so far with assignments and submissions, as well as professor feedback.
Yeah, first, there's 2 assessments, I believe, correct? There was 1 assessment at the beginning of your program. I was a little bit nervous going into that because I haven't been in the formal academic setting for a while. But I found the assessment to be pretty fair and straightforward, and you just kind of work through the questions and you get good feedback from that assessment. Kind of puts you at, you know, what level are you at before you enter the program. So that's helpful. Regarding assignments, they're fair, and I like how they build on each other as you go through the modules of each course. And I guess it's really important if there's something, at least for myself, if there was something I did not understand, a technical thing in the content, or even understand the format of the assignment, I would reach out to a professor and ask, hey, I don't understand this concept. Does it mean this? And they would give me feedback. And so I guess my advice with the assignments would be just take that feedback and continue to build on that feedback as you move through the course. So professor feedback is really important, and to apply it as you're going along. Don't ignore it. So that's my experience in a nutshell with some professor feedback. So
thanks a lot, Jason. So as everyone has been saying, you're always going to find support at Nexford, 24/7 support actually from our success team. And from our professors also, and you can book these, we have in the front and the next page here, you'll find the success scheduler at the bottom left. And what this is that you can schedule these one-on-one calls or sessions with just about any success advisor at Nexford. So you can of course select your own personal success advisor, or you can select any other person in the success team. Just pick a date and time, of course, put in your details, and that's really all that you'll need. So aside from these sessions you can have with the success advisors, in the front page, if you recall in the beginning, as we've kind of mentioned a few times throughout the call, is the writing lab. So what the writing lab is, let me get to that here. It's this resource, right? And it is because we know that not everyone is born a natural writer, and especially when it comes to the kind of assignments and projects required of you throughout your course, there's going to be specific format or kind of writing that you'll need to do for some of those, specifically the APA formatting. And so you'll be learning all about that here. You'll find some tips and tricks. If you need some extra help, you can meet our writing lab coach, Caroline Fernandez, who I mentioned earlier, posts a lot about her drop-in sessions in the announcement section. You can find a little introduction from her here, and of course you can book a one-on-one with her specifically. So you'll always find support from anyone in our team. So that includes our tech team, that includes professors, that includes success advisors, a writing lab coach. So you'll always have that to rely on. And just with that, I want to ask Zakia, how have you found the success team support so far? Do you tend to depend on success advisors or, perhaps fellow learners?
Yeah, I always had the support from the success team and even from my professors when facing any issue in the assignment requirements or at the personal level, for example, with the success team. When facing also, it was the format, the APA format style was such a nightmare for me. So I could get rid of this and redress my mistakes with the writing coach. So the support was provided to me whenever I reached out to my professors or success team.
Yeah, that's amazing. And that's exactly the kind of feeling we want everybody to feel, is that you're never alone throughout your program. Just because, your program is online doesn't mean you're not going to receive that same kind of support you would if you were at a physical, college or something. And, since I asked about friends, making friends from around the world, Jason, have you had a chance to kind of meet people from around the globe, Nexford learners?
Yes, I have. Not only can you kind of friend people on the platform, but also you can connect with them outside the platform. For example, I've discovered other people in Thailand that were started learning on the Nexford platform and going through different programs, and was able to connect with them like on LinkedIn or on WhatsApp. Also connected with other learners around the world, West Africa, the UK in WhatsApp, and just kind of chat back and forth about different, assignments, and try to support each other and encourage each other, mostly just to encourage each other. So that's been fun to do that. So.
Okay, amazing. All right. So the last bit I want to talk about in the Nextly platform here are the resources and extra features I kind of talked about earlier on. So of course, we went over the success schedule, or these one-on-ones you can book. We also have this library, and what we consider this, Nexford library. It's a huge database of news and publications, encyclopedias over various fields and industries, which serve as a great resource of information and and a research tool to use throughout your program. We also have LinkedIn Learning. So if you don't already know, when you enroll at any program at Nexford, you also receive unlimited access to over 16,000 courses and videos on LinkedIn. And once you take these courses, you'll also receive these certificates of completion. So some of these are, of course, optional for you. If you have the time next to your program, you can also study side by side, on LinkedIn Learning through various topics. Also, some of these are actually embedded already in some of our courses and modules, which you'll have to take as you go through the program. Once you do, like I said, you receive a certificate. A lot of our learners really love this extra benefit. You'll find them posting about it on LinkedIn, and they're quite proud about it. So aside from this extra benefit, we also have these digital badges that you'll receive on some, not all, but some of our Nexford courses. And they kind of look like these. You can find them posting about it here too. You can receive many badges depending on how far out you are in your program. And of course, as you're sharing it on your social media or LinkedIn, to some people, this just might look like, just a digital badge. They might not understand what exactly this means or what it is that you accomplished. So simply by clicking on it, for your fellow colleagues or perhaps, people at work, they can learn what exactly it is, the skills and competencies that you gained, to have received this badge, and what exactly you studied in your program to have received it. And of course, just to touch up on the support that you get at Nexford, and that we're always here to help you succeed. You'll find, I love these types of posts that we also receive on social media, you know, those that get an A. A lot of them are quite amazed because some of these people receive A's, you know, maybe perhaps for the first time in their life. And that is because, you know, for example, at Nexford, we don't have exams. We get this question a lot. Instead, you have graded assignments and you have final projects. And so we want you to put the work in and we want to see that you succeed because of it. It's more important for us that you learn and you'll be quite surprised that just with that, you can accomplish a lot and you can get such, you know, high grades like this. And I just want to give you all an idea of this, something called an MBA Foundation certificate. And this is important for those that are still applying, you know, to study with us at Nexford, specifically for our MBA program. So one of our admission requirements for our MBA is that you already have a bachelor's degree in a business-related field. So if your bachelor's degree isn't in a business-related field already, that doesn't mean you won't be able to apply or enroll, don't worry. We have this option in place where you can take these 4 business foundation courses, and these kind of set, you know, the foundational knowledge and skills that you need to be able to actually go through the MBA program and, you know, jump right into the core curriculum. And having said that, of course, some people feel like this might delay, you know, their program or how fast they want to finish. Don't worry about that. We have another option where if you don't choose to take the foundation courses, you can take something we call a prior learning assessment. And this is a sort of assessment or project or presentation rather that you send into our team. More details of that, of course, we can tell you about if you email our team at help@nexford.org and you do choose to go down this route. I think it's a great option that'll really fast track your program. And one of the great features also we have is you actually receive a Nexford ISIC card. It's a digital student card that you can receive. It's an official ID card that confirms that you're a student, you know, at a recognized university. This card, you know, gives you access to thousands of discounts, and we're talking about over 150,000 student discounts and offers around the world. So this applies on, you know, airlines, hotel and accommodation, clothes, shopping, entertainment, restaurants, and much more. You call it. So it really depends on your interests. You can see a little bit about it here. And this is kind of how the student ID card looks like. So I think it's a great feature that we also have. And of course, just also to talk about, you know, making friends around the world or perhaps even just acquaintances. We also have a Facebook group called Nexford Network, which has over 3,000 members already from around the world. If you'd like to join that, you'll often find a lot of people who have just joined that are quite excited, introducing themselves, saying when they're going to begin. Most of these people would like to join a sort of WhatsApp group to get connected right away with other learners. So we have those as well. Some are, you know, program specific, some are country specific. So I think that's also great for you to learn more about. You don't have to be a learner at Nexford to join the Facebook group, and you don't have to be already applying. You can simply just be interested to see, you know, what they're saying in the group and learn a little bit more about the tips and tricks of studying at Nexford. All right, and finally, I'd also like to talk about the Career Services Portal, which is something we have only recently launched. We're so excited to tell you about it. What it is it'll include a range of resources that will help our learners post-graduation. So the support that you receive at Nexford is not only during your program, it continues even after you've graduated. I don't know, Jason and Zakia, if you've heard about this yet, but it's quite exciting. With this, you'll receive access to something also called Localized, and that this is only one of our many offerings. And this will, you know, connect you to career coaches and mentors. You can attend these virtual career fairs, job fairs, and we will help you with career progression as well as employment. So this is very exciting. All right, and I guess finally, I would just like for Zakia and Jason to tell me more about your learning journey so far. Let's start with Zakia, if you can just tell us, what are some of your favorite parts and maybe what were your challenges?
Yeah. I'm very enjoying when receiving badges at the end of certain courses that motivate me and encourage me to go forward, to move forward. My challenges at the beginning of my journey, my learning journey at Nexford University, I came with a little English and in knowledge of digital skills as well. I was facing difficulties with the APA format style, and so what I did, as we told before, I reached out to my dedicated success advisor who supported me, of course, in this, and let me and gave me strength to keep going. And
that's the key. I think it's amazing when you told me that you've only just moved to the UK about, I think you said 3 years ago, and English is quite also new for you, and even with that you've been able to get this far in your AAS program, and it's an amazing and incredible achievement on your part, because we have the concern a lot from people also. We get in questions that are like, I'm not very good at English, I'm not great at writing, I'm quite worried, am I not going to be able to go through an Nexford program? And I think you're a great example that you still can, because like I said, you'll receive the support from our team right away. If one of our mission requirements, of course, is that you have English certificate, or you have some sort of proof of English proficiency. And if you don't have that, we actually offer a free FSET or EFSET English course that you can take online. And all that we ask is that you meet the minimum required level to showcase that you can, go through our programs. And so I think this is an incredible thing that you've shared with everyone. Right, and I'd love to learn about Jason also. If you can kind of give some sort of parting words or advice for our learners, or aspiring learners anyway.
Yeah, first of all, Zakia, congratulations on your language learning. I know it's difficult. I've been trying to learn Thai for the last 11 years, so it's a hard journey. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think just regarding some challenges and some positive things too. Some of the challenges really happened right after I started my program. I started in November 2019, and so a few months later, I had my time scheduled, and I own a business that operates in several different countries. So my time is very valuable and very, I don't have a lot of it to put forth into like doing an MBA program, but I really wanted to do it. So I felt pretty empowered through the online program, and it was affordable for me. And so we have then a global pandemic hitting. And so that was a huge challenge. But right away in some of my coursework, I really felt the content was so relevant in the things that I was going through personally in my business. And so I was able to apply things I was learning in real time almost the next day to HR issues or marketing issues or operations. So that was such a positive thing for me. I will have to go back to the Isic card, because I was able to get a discount from the Adobe Creative Suite and other places that will give you student discounts if you're a student. And so that's a great bonus for being an Nexford learner, is the Isic card. So you can use that in different places if you want to, apply for software arrangement or something. So you can get discounts on that. A couple things that worked for me, I was able to get a second monitor, because you're on your computer screen so much and you have to open up multiple windows sometimes to read other articles, and you're doing a lot of writing and typing. The second monitor helped me a lot, which then I had to get blue block glasses because I was on my monitor so much. So there's just small practical things I think you'll learn as you get into it. And probably the best money I've spent, the best time I've put into this. And I would just encourage everybody to try it and go for it. It's a very empowering thing. I think, like Zakia said, you just keep moving forward, and the encouragement that you can get from your professors and your success advisors really help. So.
All right, that's incredible. Thanks a lot, Jason, and thanks, Zakia. I think we're about ready to jump into our Q&A here and some of the questions we've received also on chat. There is a question here from Harshada Salunke that says, will there be any virtual live lectures? So you can book these live, of course, sessions with your professor or success advisors, but they aren't recorded, or they aren't these live lectures. Dr. Bill, do you mind just explaining a bit more about how that'll be like?
Sure, it's very easy. One of the highlights of my week is usually talking one-on-one with students. We have Zoom, we have phone calls, whatever. These are scheduled at your convenience, so that your convenience and the faculty's convenience, so that you can spend 20 minutes, 25 minutes going over a specific topic or a general question about the program in itself. So generally speaking, the faculty I know, we welcome these opportunities to go one-on-one, and sometimes we can resolve in a 10-minute phone call, 2 hours of emails. So keep that in mind as you move into the program. If there's something's really a hurdle, let's talk for a few minutes. I'm sure we can clean it up quickly, and they are available. There's this special button you can hit to do that. I prefer you send me an email. Every professor is available one way or the other.
All right, perfect. Yeah, I think that answers another question we have also from someone regarding whether it's live lectures. We have a question here specifically for Jason from Tinashe Guerrero. I hope I'm saying that correctly. And it says, how are you finding the advanced AI specialization, and how did you come to decide to do that specialization? I'm struggling to choose between hyperconnectivity and the advised AI specialization. As someone who isn't coming from the business world, I'm making a career change into tech, and I need to make the right choice.
Wow, how much time do you have?
Yeah.
I can tell you my personal experience in that. Now, my background is in graphic design, web design, and business development. So a lot of my technical skills came out of the 90s and early 2000s. So as I looked at what is important now and what will be important in the future, I really sought after something I didn't completely understand. And that's why I think I chose the advanced AI route, is because I didn't completely understand it. And after going through the 3-course specialization in it, it's not super technical, or there are technical pieces in it, but it really lays a good foundation for more study and more learning. And I would recommend it in a heartbeat if that's kind of a route you're going. My second choice was the hyperconnectivity. In fact, I talked to my success advisor about maybe doing another specialization, but at this point, I'm just a little bit tired, so I'm going to take a break first and make sure I graduate. But that was another choice for mine, so it was a hard pick for me too, but I ultimately went for the advanced AI because I really wanted to learn something that was outside of my preview right now. So hopefully that answered that question.
Yes, thanks, Jason. We have an anonymous question here that says somebody wants to learn more about intermediate and advanced certificate courses. So really what differentiates them, aside from, of course, the topic, I would say is that the intermediate ones are kind of undergraduate certificates. And so they have different admission requirements than the advanced level certificates. For the intermediate ones, you only need to have a high school certificate or its equivalent to be able to apply, whereas the advanced ones, you would need to have at least a bachelor's degree to be able to apply for those. I recommend the best thing you can do is just jump right onto our website at nexford.org/certificates. So just go to the certificate section and you'll see them, more details about each specific certificate that's currently available. We also have a question on chat here from Chinedu Uza, who says, is it possible to run the BBA and MBA course at the same time? Unfortunately, for the same reason I sort of just explained, that won't be possible because for the MBA, you also need to already have a bachelor's degree. I would say you're able to do that if you already have a bachelor's degree and you still wish to take the BBA, then yes, you should be able to take the two of them at the same time. But if you don't already have a bachelor's, then you would need to finish the BBA first, and then you can take our MBA afterwards. Let's see if we have any more questions here. We have Oswald Joshua who's asking if, how long would it take to finish a degree program? Our program length differs depending on what Nexford program you choose to study. So there's an average completion time for everything. For our MBA and our AAS, that's our AAS is 18 months and our MBA is 15 months. And for our bachelor's degree, our BBA, that would be 36 months. Having said that, please keep in mind that these are only, average completion times, and it is because we are not self-paced, as somebody asked here also on chat, but rather we are flexible, flexibly paced, which means the more courses you take at the same time at Nexford, the faster you're able to complete your program. And ultimately, of course, the less you would pay in total as you pay monthly. So you can complete your program in 15 months, or MBA, for example, you can complete it in 12 months, even less. We have an incredible story of an MBA learner in Egypt who actually completed his MBA program last year in just 5 months, and that was a record-breaking 5 months. So it really depends on how much time you put in, how your schedule is like, and I guess for some people, how much sleep you give up on. But it really depends on your goals. Okay, we need to wrap up soon, but let me answer just the last questions we have on Q&A here. We have a question also from Chukudero Anyansi, who says, can I do 2 courses at the same time? Yes, you can. All right, another question for Jason. How hard is it for someone to learn AI?
I guess it depends on what part of the AI you want to focus on, because there's different levels to it. But I would say the program at Nexford really lays a good foundation for that. And added to that is the benefit of being able to get on LinkedIn Learning. And so what I'm going to continue to do is use my LinkedIn Learning account and start going through some of the more technical aspects of AI, and which gets into big data analytics, data science. And so a lot of those technical things you really are then, you can start self-teaching yourself and going through some other programs like LinkedIn Learning, which Nexford gives to each student, which is a huge bonus for us. So, but there's a lot to learn. So yeah, hopefully that was okay.
Thanks a lot, Jason. Okay, another question from Chinedu here. In the course of running the MBA, can a learner halt the program for a period of time due to medical emergencies and come back to finish up later? My answer would be yes, definitely yes. We offer something called an LOA, which is a leave of absence that you can request during your program. This can go on for a few months depending on the program you're studying. So for the MBA, you have up to 4 months of a leave of absence that you can take. If you require more time than that, of course, feel free to explain your situation to our success team or your success advisor. And I assure you, you'll find the help that you need. The support, of course, if you need any sort of extension. For the bachelor's degree, this can go up to 8 months. You can take a break for up to 8 months because, again, we understand that circumstances out of our hands can come up sometimes. All right, let's take this as the last question we'll answer today, and it's for Zakia. Is it easy to manage family and studies altogether?
Yeah, it's dependent on how I'm managing and I'm organizing myself and managing my time. So the plan that I talked about it before, it's very convenient for me. And even I'm receiving support from my husband, which is very helpful this for me. And as I said, from Nexford University, I want to thank everyone, every member of staff at Nexford University, from the admission or to the success team, the writing coach, or my professors who contributed in let's say in my to be successful, maybe because I have came a long way in improving myself at Nexford University.
All right, thanks a lot, Zakia. Okay, I think that's about all the time we have today. Thanks everybody who sent in their questions. Unfortunately, we couldn't get to all of the questions that we received also in chat. Please note that if you have more questions, you can email our team directly at help@nexford.org. And for anybody who happened to join late, don't worry, this will also be recorded. So you should find this up on YouTube within the week. And also for those that already registered and might have joined late, you'll find a recording of it sent right to your mailbox. And yeah, thanks everybody again for joining us today. And thanks, of course, Jason, Zakia, and Dr. Bill.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Everybody have a good day and a good evening. All right.
Bye now.
Bye.